This is Whiskey Whereabouts. I'm Tim, and it's come to this 1 week, 7 of the 8 Diageo Special Releases 2025. I have advanced 2 winners from 2 prior blind flights. They're in front of me now. I'm going to put them head to head, and I'm going to declare my favorite. My whiskey journey has taken me to Scotland and back. I've explored whiskey education, tastings, and distilleries from Islay to Speyside. And now my journey continues here, with you, on Whiskey Whereabouts. So if you're just catching up, I'll put a link to the most recent one of these 2 prior videos. I got a sample set, 7 of the 8 2025 Diageo Special Releases. As I explained in the prior videos, this year the Clynelish is late. It was late from Diageo, so the sample pack that I got didn't have it, and I wanted to get these videos out to you while these are on the shelves, and so I went with the 7 of the 8. So I split them into 4 and 3. And I did a blind flight in those 2 sort of groups, the way I always do in March with the Malt Madness tournament of samples. I rate all 3 stages of whiskeys, rate the whiskeys, and choose a winner. The winner advances. And then I did the second group, and now we have our 2 finalists that advance from each of our 2 groups. What are the 2 finalists competing in the Diageo Bowl 2025? Well, the first whiskey to advance was the number 1 seed overall. In the group, it was Daluaine, 21 year. It's called the Marbled Treasures. It's 54.3% fully sherry matured Daluaine. The first time Daluaine's been in the special releases in 10 years. This is not an inexpensive bottle. I've seen it for $500. And in the other corner, I guess this makes it, in terms of age statement and price, an underdog, not a usual position for this whiskey. Every year in the Diageo Special Releases, we get a 12-year Lagavulin Cask strength special release, and this year is no different. This year's edition is called the Grain and Embers. It's 56.5% whiskey. It's mature and refill bourbon cask, but it also has PX and Oloroso. So it's got the sherry and bourbon configuration like the 16-year. And, you know, that's the problem with the 16-year, the poor presentation, right? Here we've got a cask strength presentation every year, and I find that they're hit or miss. Last year's didn't do that much for me. The year before that was the one with the sort of tequila cask finish, a little unusual. You know, I think I prefer these when they're more straightforward. Showcase cask strength for the Lagavulin, and that is what we got from this year's edition. So, I have the 2 whiskeys in front of me. They have been randomly placed. They are in the blue glasses, more out of tradition than anything else. I don't think it's going to be too hard to distinguish these 2 whiskeys once we get into it. And the way I do this is I start over here, whiskey number 1. I go this way. I don't know which whiskey is which. You will. And I'm going to rate the 3 stages of whiskeys. I'm going to rank the 3 stages of whiskeys and rank first and second place this year. And I'm going to declare a winner with a giant fat asterisk, in that we didn't have the Clynelish in the set. Yeah, so, like I said, it's not going to be hard to tell these whiskeys apart. And what I'm getting here is maybe I've acclimated to it. Maybe it's opened up a little bit. I don't know. A little sample bottle. I don't know, the headspace really matters over a period of, a couple of days. But this is very recognizable. It has that sort of smoky quality to it. As I lean in, though, I'm getting a lot of what I think of when I think of this whiskey. Vanilla and apple. It's real kind of down in the mix, real orchard fruit underneath those big sort of flavor elements that we kind of know and associate with this whiskey, and like a vanilla bean, really concentrated. There's also a cinnamon. It's a cinnamon bordering on like a hot sauce. There's some pep to it. So let's go to the other one by process of elimination. Yeah, and it's what I remember this being, which is rich and a nice combination. A real obvious sort of coffee ground bitter element hanging over it, along with the sweetness. It's a lot of what I talked about the first time, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like taking an elevator down. You know, you had that big bitter element, now you have the sort of bakey sherry elements, now here comes the orange citrus. The levels that you expect are here. And it's rewarding because it's opening up and it's showing you its different moves. We just finished a World Series. This whiskey's like a pitcher that has, 5-6 pitches in his repertoire. Yeah, I love this profile. And if you watch my channel, and I love a traditional, you know, Islay peated quality on a nose. But you know, this is the Yamamoto of this flight. I'm just getting too much here, so I'm gonna have to say that this is the number 1 nose, and this will be number 2. And we're gonna go into the palates now. Let's check this one out. Smoke isn't overwhelming. It's like I think of a traditional Lagavulin. Each stage kind of gives you a little bit more smoke till you get the big bloom. This one, it's there. There is an ashiness. There is a cask. There is a vanilla. There is a peat. But I'm really struck by how rich the sweeter elements are here. I always expect apple from Lagavulin. This definitely has that. But I think that sherry, I know there's PX in here. It's a little bit more concentrated. I am getting those dried fruits. I am getting a real concentrated brown sugar. And it's nice. It's nice to offset. You know, it depends on the distillery. Sometimes Ardbeg, I like Ardbeg in a bourbon cask. I like Kilchoman in a sherry cask, or majority sherry, like that's an egg. It just depends for me, and this is all very subjective, how the balance works. Everything's about balance and harmony, right? And this one, I'm really liking the level of sherry that's coming in. It's not overwhelming. It's still very recognizable what it is, but it's got a nice depth of the sweetness. Whiskey number 2. I'm liking this, I think, even more than I liked it the first time. Maybe it's opened up a little bit. It's, you know, it's a really nice balance. It's very rich and sweet. But then it has this real top layer with this sort of coffee kind of bitter kind of element. So it's not going to get overwhelmingly sweet. You know, you think about the high age stated, fully sherry mature whiskey, like the Parliament I have back there, 21 year, it's Oloroso and PX, and it's rich and decadent. But I have had people try it and say, whew, that's sweet. And here we've got a nice contrast, and I like that. I usually do these neat, come as you are, for these types of flights. So I haven't done water. But I don't know that I'll have any to do it, but I wonder if it would open up and what it would reveal. I really have to kind of chase for the kind of fruit component of what I expect from that sherry, but it is there underneath. But a nice balance. It just doesn't have the richness, it just doesn't have the depth, as much as I like this on the palate. So it's gonna be the same score again. And then we're gonna do the finishes now. I'm gonna go over here with the Lagavulin. A big bloom of that smoke, obviously, you know that's coming. Obviously, it's going to be kind of vanilla element. A lot of cinnamon. The long sort of tail of some of that sherry baked spice. A little bit of cask. After it's developed, what you're left with is the pepper sort of liveliness. The cask. My sinus is still full of that smoke. You know, you've had whiskey from this distillery before. And it's not sour, but it's not perfectly sweet. There's a balance here too. It's not quite. It's like a sort of dark cherry, kind of like that level. Not full tart, but it's not just straight sweet. Fruit element that's nice. Going back to the finish here on the Daluaine. You know, it's been a long time in the cask, and that dark coffee kind of bitter elements there. The rich sweetness is there. The fruit is there. Citrus, orange citrus. Maybe a little bit sour to go with it, but it's got some of that tannic bitter. There's a real toastiness to it, but really it's oaky. It's long, it's great, but if I would want to adjust this just a little bit, I might just pull that down just 1 degree down into the mix with the others, because it's a little dominant. And you get a sort of wave of it on that finish. We're splitting hairs here. This is the final, right? These are good whiskeys. This is a very good whiskey. So I'm gonna go back and forth here, and we'll see if we can get if Lagavulin can get on the board. Nope, this is just a better whiskey across the board. It's a really expensive whiskey. This did not happen last year. I put a link to the final from last year to prove it. Big, expensive whiskeys did not advance last year. Lagavulin didn't advance last year. I was very pleased with the two whiskeys that made it to the final. They were nice. And this year, a little bit more obvious here. The big ticket whiskey has advanced. The Lagavulin has advanced. These are both fantastic whiskeys. I'd love to have them. I'd love to really have a whole bottle where I can really kind of see how they develop as they open up and hit them with water, do all the fun stuff. But I just have my samples, and now I don't have any. It took the whole sample to decide it today. But obviously the winner is Daluaine. For formality's sake, I will make sure that I'm correct. Obviously I am. Is the winner of the 2025 Diageo Bowl. It went with the favorite this year. It happens. If any of these videos had value to you, make sure you subscribe. Hit this big button that's going to pop up right over here so you don't miss any of the future videos coming. We have a lot more great stuff coming this fall, and I will see you on the next one.